What is up, guys? Carl from TDG here with another build update video. So today we're going to be looking at our Blight of Contagion build, or as I like to call it, the Contagious Cough build. So we're going to jump right into it. We'll take a look at some of our just base stats here. We are level 88 with about 21 hours and 13 minutes played on the character. Nothing too crazy here. This is actually some pretty slow leveling. We did the entire campaign in about 6 hours, six and a half hours with all of our labs and ascendancies completed. Really tried to force that, especially into the early mapping stages. We were just running around with a tabula rasa on, which let me tell you, that really prolonged our progression as we got a little later into the maps, and just some chain deaths that really started to eat away on some of that XP because I was lazy and greedy and didn't want to spend more money for our upgrades. We'll get into that in a second. But with this being a full energy shield character, we are currently running Chaos Inoculation, making us Chaos Immune, but setting our life to 1. And we have invested pretty heavily in Energy Shield gear. Now, obviously, you can see here it's 6,300. It is not the most, but this is with a two-hand weapon and not a shield, so it's, I'd say, pretty respectable. We'll do a quick overview, we'll look at our links, and then we'll take a peek at our passive tree. So we are in our weapon running Summon Skitterbots, Malevolence, Discipline. This is really just for Val Discipline right now. I haven't quite been able to fit in the regular Discipline yet. We have Flame Dash as our movement skill and Grace here. In the helmet, we have our totem support with Spell Totem, Wither, Multiple Totem, and Faster Casting. We'll look at our gloves, Contagion, linked to item rarity, Intensify, and increased area, and the boots with controlled destruction, Bane, Temporal Chains, and Despair. Our main links, we have our Blight of Contagion, Infused Channeling, Controlled Destruction, Efficacy, Swift Affliction, and Void Manipulation. Rings, just an energy shield ring here with some all res and then some strength. We really needed to make sure we got that. We have the Anathema for our intelligence, cast speed, a little bit of the energy shield, some power charge gain on cast, as well as Cursed Limit, and then the big guy here, the Dragon Fang's Blight. So all of these things together, then we have our belt, which is really just here for some energy shield, percent energy shield, a little bit of res to cap everything off, and then increased damage crafted on it, which I can make a little bit better, but no big deal. You can see down here we have the Purity of Elements, and this is really what made this build cost a lot of money. I did not want to run this. I know it gives us Purity, Element Immunity. I didn't want to be forced into running that. I wanted to have a little bit more freedom. So you can see that by doing that, we have res capped. Yes, we're not fully res capped for elemental weakness in red maps, but we are essentially res capped. I need to fix my LE suppression, my spell suppression, but we accomplished that. So why is that a big deal? It's a big deal because I should be able to, once I anoint Sovereignty onto this build, I should be able to fit the Discipline in. If I put that on right now, you can see that brings me to 0. But the little bit of extra efficiency that I will get here should actually be enough to give me a little bit to be able to run that. I will then pair that with Clarity here for some mana regen to keep all of that rolling. And I'm really hoping that that'll be enough. I'm not 100% sure yet what that's going to feel like, but it should be good enough to get it moving. So what does the general gameplay look like? I'm going to include a map right after this with some leveling progression as well, just to give everybody a look at what it started off with. But basically, you walk into a map, you cast your Contagion, you press Blight. That's it. If there's a more tanky enemy, what you would do for single target damage is you would throw it on your Wither Totem, cast your Bane, and cast your Blight. It is literally that simple. I know it says 6,300 life, doesn't feel like a lot, or energy shield I should say, doesn't feel like a lot, but we have about a 2% regen here, and just, overall it feels pretty good. So we'll do a very brief overview of what our Ascendancy is. Started off by taking Polymath, grabbing 2% more damage as well as some recovery. Then we came in and grabbed Swift Killer for charge duration, as well as Frenzy charges. Came into Escape Artist for some energy shield and evasion, depending on our helmet and our body armor, and then finished off with Spellbreaker for some more spell suppression and press spell damage. If we look at the current tree that we have, you can see we come to the south side of the Trickster, come down, pathing into some Chaos Res and some Chaos Dot Multi, come down to Charisma, get a little bit of that efficiency, coming over here for some Overcharged, Reflexes, making our way up for Leadership, Foresight. That's the extra point that isn't necessarily in the guide, but for me, I like that playstyle. Have 2 gems open for 1 socket each, or 1 point each. A little bit energy shield and spell suppression here, Ghost Dance, energy shield nodes, damage over time, energy shield, chaos damage, CI, again, more aura, spell area, energy shield, wicked ward, ton, and I mean a ton of intelligence coming from this. And then the really big deal, this large cluster. So we have chaos damage, unholy grace, unwavering evil, wicked pale. You can see that we are able to stick this together. What do they do? Wicked pale, 30% chaos, 5% skill duration, chaos and ignore stun, chaos and cast speed. Another medium cluster, I should say, with 4 passives this time. Again, chaos damage over time. Again, unwavering evil and wicked pale. Boom and boom. With 1 more socket here, you can see we have 2 more points here waiting to go. And then a little later on, we can even path into another one right here, but we're going to look to make the most out of this. A gem that has to go here. That's going to be our Watch's Eye. And then there is another gem that will go here. I believe that's a leadership gem or something like that, where it'll make everything assigned in the area do chaos damage. That's a brief overview of our tree. And what I will leave you guys with is a little bit of gameplay. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. All right, so in our first clip, we're going to take a peek at our Baron fight. This was witnessed by Maven, and we are just running in here, just doing some real easy fights, dropping down some damage, doing a little bit of channeling, avoiding the telegraphed attacks, just running around, avoiding the attacks on the ground or the floors on the ground. Channeling, running away, getting a little separation, and just really keeping up some of that damage and trying to stay out of harm's way. Honestly, the fight's pretty easy. It's pretty cool. So really cool thing to keep in mind for chaos dot damage is that as you're building your dot damage up, like even right now, I'm not dealing direct damage. The damage is still being applied to the enemy because there is a damage over time. This is just going to be a very quick display of what the clear looks like. You can see we just drop our contagion down, throw a little bit of blight, and it just starts to chain everywhere. This is what it looks like taking on an essence enemy. Single target isn't exactly the best, but again, even with that, you're really not in harm's way. You kind of just tank through it, get a little close there, pop our Val Discipline, and really no harm whatsoever. I will be honest, some of the harvest mobs are some of the hardest mods to kill, but you can see there we basically get 1 kill and we chain the entire cluster together. We run through and we just start ripping it down. And the rest of the harvest clear is more or less the same. So I'm going to jump back into some quick map clear, and you could get a pretty good idea of what this actually looks like with some good density. So coming right through here, we're going to drop that contagion and we're going to watch a really nice chain take place. And it just goes. As you can see, boom, and we clear the entire room out just by dropping a contagion and touching it with blight. That is why I call it the contagious cough build, because you drop contagion and then you cough on them. Maybe I should change this to the contagious sneeze build, but regardless, you guys get the point. And I think you're seeing why the build has been so much fun as far as clear speed has been concerned. And I'm just going to leave you guys with some leveling clips. So you can see here the Duresso fight, pretty easy, throwing down the Wither Totem, smacking him with some stacks of blight, letting him tick down, and the rest is pretty self-explanatory. He honestly doesn't really stand a chance. Comb is more or less the same here, a little bit more sketchy due to the fireballs that come out and really not having a good way of mitigating that. But again, pretty simple once we stack up that damage. Piety, again, early boss, just a quick little display of what you could expect with it. You could see as soon as we stack that blight up, it just chunks. And then, of course, you know, always lucky, throwing in that essence drain, and there's our Blight of Contagion. The build is online, no trades needed. Very quick Dawn and Dusk clips. They are literally dead before they spawn. This is when I started to realize, like, holy smokes, this is crazy. And then I had to include the Solaris and Lunaris fight, because this is only the second build I've ever been able to run that did not chain die to them, which felt pretty good. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked it, hit that subscribe button, and if you get a chance, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Are you still enjoying this league? What builds have you been playing? And what are your thoughts on this? Have you tried the Blight of Contagion build yet? Have you tried any of these new chaos dots after their new rework? And are you enjoying what your current build is? I think all in all, this build was probably somewhere in the realm of 10 to 15, maybe even a little bit more than that divines. And though it's not the best bang for your buck you can probably get, I would highly recommend it if you're into some chaos dot builds with a little bit of energy shield on them. So anyway, guys, like I said before, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.